a lot of shit happened with the Morningstar stuff. So I made a second smaller iceberg. It doesn't get into the depths, but it's just small because there's not really much has happened. But yeah, so there are a few things that have been updated from what happened with last. First of all, YouTube. His older music has been removed from the original music videos have been removed. That's basically what happened. 2 is his Instagram. A lot of shit from his Instagram was removed as well. 3, that's pretty much it. Everything else I'm going to have to talk about on the new one. Anyway, so let's get on to the new one. Now, I'm not going to put them all in sections like I did with the original iceberg. With the original iceberg, I had like 30 different goddamn audio files, and I'm not doing that again. So I'm just going to do them all in one shot. Yeah. So the top of the iceberg, Sound System. Sound System is his newest album, coming out on December 17th. Yeah, if I remember correctly, it did have an original release date, which was December 7th. But yeah, it was nice that we finally got Sound System, a brand new album. The last album was in 2020, and that was Origami. Next up, Aspen/Lucy. Aspen and Lucy were the 2 singles that came out this year. Aspen being a sort of smooth song. Apparently somebody cried listening to it. And Lucy, I don't know how to describe Lucy. I did listen to it, I just don't know how to describe it. On to the second layer, actually on the iceberg. Useless link. If you're on the Corbin Burbank Bandcamp, there is a Dylan Ward button. You click that, it just takes you back to the Bandcamp. Quite literally a useless link. It's basically a refresh button if you do not have a refresh button. Origami price. Surprisingly recently, this is also in the same boat as the November 9th, 2021 incident, but for some reason Origami now has a price on Bandcamp being $4 instead of being free. Now luckily there are places to get it for free. Internet Archive has the incorrect version of Origami. I need to upload the original. But yeah, Origami now has a price for some ungodly reason. Throwaways. Throwaways was an album that was right before Sound System that came out in November, but for some reason was removed. And if you go to the Morningstar archive in Silas Sterling Reuploads BRLA and look through the videos tab, you'll realize that Throwaways only has 3 songs, with the first and second song being unlisted. You can still listen to it, it's just unlisted. The reason being might be what happened with a few other albums that had to have their videos unlisted. It probably has something to do with a brand new album that's coming out. We don't know. Shazam. Shazam is really weird. If you were to Shazam a few Corbin Burbank songs, a good example being the Never Never Land songs, you'll realize that the music video that it recommends you is the Morningstar archive. I just thought that was neat. vdeadboy.bandcamp.com. vdeadboy.bandcamp.com is basically where you can download the albums as actual albums without having to depend on Internet Archive or going through the painful process of downloading each song on YouTube. Yep. vdeadboy.bandcamp.com is definitely the easiest way of getting some of the albums. COS. In the streamable version of Ugly, Chamber of Reflection was changed to COS. I have asked Corbin Burbank about it. He said that it was a misspelling of COR because Chamber of Reflection. Corbin Burbank Songs 2021 CD. There was a CD in an Instagram story that just says Corbin Burbank Songs 2021. God knows what could be on it. But luckily, Silas has asked Corbin Burbank about it, and he gave him the track list. The track list being I Hear Sirens, Maxidelic, Tundra, Hades, Shyamalan, fuck that one. Stockholm, Peace Seeker, and Aspen. This CD came before Aspen, so yeah. November 9th, 2021 incident. At around like 1 a.m. to 6 a.m., one of those two, every single Morningstar song on the Bandcamp was removed. These songs being Ugly, XXX Young Bratz Flip, Chamber of Reflection single, Kanye XTCY Flip, Cardi Cake Flip, and that's pretty much all of them. Yeah, all those Morningstar songs were removed, which means if it wasn't for Silas, Ugly Deluxe would have been lost media, and all we would have is the streamable version. Bloom. Bloom is a very interesting song, as it was only up on streaming services for a week before being removed. So, Bloom is probably one of the least known, like, lost media of Corbin, Burbank, or Morningstar, one of those two. The song isn't half bad either. The problem is the album art's still lost. But the album art on the Bandcamp is the album art that was going to be used for what's on the next one, Wish You Were Here. The album art that you see on Bloom is the Wish You Were Here album art. Before Wish You Were Here was changed to Vices, and Vices was changed to Sound System. Wish You Were Here also had a promotional trailer, which was also removed, which luckily Silas archived that too. Everything in its right place. In the Bandcamp of Corbin Burbank, the Ambience single had its name changed to Everything in Its Right Place. I asked Corbin Burbank about this too, and he said that's because this is what the original file's name was called. Or something in that terms, I don't know. Yeah, it's just Ambience was changed to Everything in Its Right Place. Not much about it. Posthumous Relief instrumentals. Posthumous Relief is a extremely old Morningstar album, being right next to 1-800-Spectre and Koi. But did you know Posthumous Relief apparently had a version on streaming services? You can still find the Spotify link by looking up Posthumous Relief Instrumentals, Morningstar, and you'll see it's literally just a shortened version of Posthumous Relief, mainly just the instrumentals. But yeah, it's just neat that there was a streaming service version of Posthumous Relief. November 17th, 2021 Instagram. On November 17th, 2021, the Casino Hearts Instagram account was turned off. It was pretty much deleted. Luckily, we had a lot of the stories archived, mainly the ones that had videos. If it was a picture archive, no. But yeah, the Instagram account was disabled for like 2 days and then came back. Now time for the most complicated one and the last one. Volume 0.5 again. If you don't know, Volume 0.5 has a giant history behind it now. And a lot of it you can see on the spreadsheet, which is not listed on here, but should be on the spreadsheet and on the Bandcamp of V Dead Boy. If you were to check the spreadsheet, it would, and look at who created it, it would say Silas Sterling, even though it originally said Corbin Burbank. If you were to check every other thing of Volume 0.5, you will mainly see Silas owns the rights to this album. If you don't know, Silas Sterling, the person who started the entire Morningstar archive, officially owns the rights to Volume 0.5. If you were to check the Morningstar archive, the playlist, it wouldn't be there. If you were to look up Volume 0.5 on Silas Sterling Reuploads, you would see it says Silas Sterling instead of Morningstar Archive. The Morningstar Archive and Volume 0.5 are basically no longer connected anymore. Volume 0.5 has basically become like complicated. You could literally, like, Volume 0.5 has more lore than Koi now. Koi being the most popular Morningstar song that was removed. The rights of Volume 0.5 were obtained on December 30th, 2021. It's very confusing. But luckily, we might be able to see Volume 0.5 on streaming services again. That is, if Silas will stop being a little fucking baby bitch when it comes to a route note, and if he can get the original high quality art of it. And that is if route note actually lets him publish it, because, you know, it's still on Amazon. It's not officially gone yet. But yeah, that was basically the shortened version of the iceberg. It's just a shortened version. That's because not a lot of things have happened, and not many big events have happened. The biggest event that happened with this is Bloom being found and the Dead Boy Bandcamp, where you can find all of it. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you want to watch the original iceberg, I am going to re-upload the original iceberg on this channel as well, so you could learn about the older stuff.